Alright then. Where the fuck have you been for so long, god damn it? This is ridiculous. I'm Bludgerboy, and we're here to play some more Ratchet and Clank 3. Because it's been a whole fucking year since I did an episode of this. That's not ridiculous or anything. That's totally reasonable. I feel awful just doing this now, because it seems like it's too late. It honestly does. Well, let's get into why. Why have I not done this for a year? What are the reasons? Because if you're watching this, you're probably wondering why there hasn't been an episode for as long as there has been. Most of it's just been like, I've been doing other stuff. Not other stuff as in so much other stuff that I didn't have time to do this. I just haven't been focused on YouTube much at all in 2014. It just wasn't a thing that happened very regularly. You would have noticed there weren't many uploads of any description really throughout the year, and I was just doing other stuff. And the LP itself specifically, I stopped when I had to do all the gold bolts and skill points, because that's what this video is. It's just me getting... Did I say gold bolts? I'm still getting them mixed up. What the fuck's going on? To get the titanium bolts and skill points and going through the sewers to get all the sewer crystals, whatever it is they're called. And I figured, like, it was just like this monumental, daunting task. At least in theory it was, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna hate doing this. So I put it off, and I put it off, and I put it off, and it just ended up being put off for this long. It just took this long for me to get the energy to go, alright, let's finally do it. And I wanted to do it for ages. I've wanted to finish this. I didn't want to leave it unfinished. That to me wasn't right, but I just couldn't be fucked doing it. Because I thought there was just like this huge task of going back through, and the longer I left it, of course, I knew the less I was going to remember about what I'd already done, and I was going to have to go back and figure out what titanium bolts I'd missed, what skill points I'd missed, how to get them all, I went back and went through what I already had on, like, Saturday, and recorded it all on Sunday morning. It took all of 5 hours. I feel so bad. It took all of 5 hours to get all the remaining titanium bolts and trophies and most of the remaining skill points. 5 fucking hours. How do you put off 5 hours of work for a year? That's ridiculous. It's just not reasonable at all. I'm so sorry. Though that's the other thing. The other thing with this is that it's not like the LP was demanded by anybody. It's a project I did purely for my own... well, not my own entertainment, just because I felt like it, really. It's not like there's a whole bunch of people going, where's the LP, where are the episodes? There's no one's asking that question, and when there's no demand for something, you don't feel any incentive to supply it. And that's not me getting pissed off at you guys for not demanding this. You don't have to demand this. If you don't want to watch it, you don't watch it. It's simple as that. And we'll get into that later on as well. My feelings on how watchable this really is. But, if there is, it's just a simple fact, if there is no demand for something, you don't really have any incentive to supply it or make it. And because there was no one bugging the crap out of me for episodes, there was like maybe one person who asked, who I can even remember. Apart from that, there was nobody. So it was like, I guess no one else wants to see this, so it's like, what's the point in making it? As for my opinion of the LP, I'm not really fond of the way I do this anymore. I have to be honest, I'm not fond of the whole pseudo-vlog style of LP that I'm doing here, where all I'm really doing is discussing my life with the video game in the background. I just don't see the point in that. To me, there's like... And this is just my personal taste, you can feel free to disagree with what you prefer. This isn't a matter of how you should do LPs, what the objective, correct way to do an LP is, but just personally... The only LPs I watch are A, ones where I like the humor of the person playing it, or 2, where the LP demonstrates some level of skill as to the person knowing the game back to front, discussing the game, the way it works, and going really in-depth, or just playing it really well. and playing it with a great deal of skill. And I don't feel my LP matches either one of those. Like, I mean, this LP is a challenge LP, technically, because I'm not buying armor, and I'm not using any weapons that are fully upgraded unless I absolutely have to. So technically it is a skill LP, because I do know this game pretty well. But it doesn't come through much. Like, I don't know how visible the skill is. Like, in a game like, I don't know, Mega Man, or in speedruns, stuff like that, you see the skill. You can see, like, wow, this is really exemplary performance. Not many people can do this. But I'm just playing the game normally, just kind of making it more difficult. I'm not trying to get through it fast or anything. So I don't know how impressive the skill comes off, and I'm not sure how watchable this really is. And the commentary, I'm questioning, not just because it's not... I'm kind of seeing it as dull, and I am seeing it as dull, to be honest. But also for privacy reasons, like just my own privacy, just not revealing every fucking ounce of information about my life that I don't have to reveal. And this has come to mind not just with the NSA leaks and everything, that happened not long after I started, I don't think. It would have been about the time I started the LP, the NSA leaks came out. But it's not... The NSA would have had access to this anyway. It's not the NSA I'm worried about, it's just average people. Because let's say, for the sake of argument, I become like a professional comedian, because that's what I want to do with my life. All this LP shit is out there, and anyone can watch it. And I've got no fucking clue what I've said in these things. I don't remember. I remember a couple of episodes, but... You know, not even I remember what I've said, much less you. I can't fucking fathom how memorable these things are. It's just drivel to me, mostly. So there could be any number of unreasonable or bad things that I've said. I don't mean like offensive things, or I just mean things that are just like flat out incorrect, or things that are insulting, or, you know, I've got no idea. And that can harm your reputation as a person. Like, what, you said that? Wow, you mustn't be a very smart person. You're an asshole. Even if it's something I said, like, you know, 4 to 5 years ago, and I don't think it anymore, I don't agree with it anymore, it doesn't matter. People won't think that, so... I'm just a lot more iffy about what I put into these things, and I was already kind of privacy conscious for several reasons. I don't want to reveal information about other people's lives, but I still have full reign over what I reveal about my own life, and I still think I'm going to kind of go on a bit too far with these things sometimes. Not all the time, just sometimes. And it wouldn't be the most recent episodes, it'd be the older ones, where I was just willy-nilly with whatever I talked about. But yeah, the main issue is how watchable this content is. That's the main question for me. How watchable is this? And that's not a question that I can answer. That's a question that you have to answer. Because I'm not the one watching this. I'm not going back and watching old episodes. I don't do that. I find my voice unbearable in most of these. I don't really find myself saying things of any interest to myself. There are a couple of episodes that I go back and watch sometimes. There's an episode of RNC2 where I discuss a friend invited me to his youth group thing. I like that episode. And the last episode of this LP, I loved editing that. That was hilarious. All the cliffhangers and shit. See, I like that because that's artistic. That's style. That's me fucking with you. That's like a genuine sense of humor. That's a story, and I'm telling it in a certain way, and I'm giving you reason to come back. That was a good episode. And ironically, like, 2014 is like the most social year I've ever had. Like, that group of people who I introduced you to in that episode where I basically talked about that girl the whole time, there was a whole group of people who I met in that, right? And she was just part of that group. I have since become really good friends with that group, and I've hung out with them several times. I've had sleepovers with them, like, since the one that I went to, where I met them. We've had at least 4 or 5 now. They've even come over to my house to sleep over. That's how good friends we are. I've known them for like over a year now. They're fantastic people. They're so fun to be around. And I just love the irony in that the one year where I slack off making LPs and partially because I thought the commentary was dull, was the 1 year where I would actually have had stuff to talk about. These sleepovers, and I went to the arcade with them. What else did we do? Went to one of their birthdays. Met a couple of other people through the group. It's insane. And we get along like really well. Like they're all in the Nintendo stuff, and it's just, they're just cool people. I've practically doubled my friend count. Like the number of friends who actually hang around on a regular basis. I doubled that in 2014 just by meeting those people. I am so fucking lucky. My friend invited me to that just out of the fucking blue. And that girl, by the way, that never happened. And I'm really confused about that, to be perfectly honest. Because in the LP, I mentioned that when I asked her out, she said... What did she say? She said, I just got out of a relationship. And I took that to mean, I'm not ready right now. Maybe ask me later. And it was kind of like, it was off-putting, because I hadn't asked a girl out in that point in fucking years. So I was still proud of myself for doing it. But I was clinging on to this, and I clung on to it for a long time. For longer than I'm prepared to admit. I didn't even blog about this. I was that afraid that someone from the group would find it. I mean, now it doesn't fucking matter, for reasons I'll also get into. Maybe in later episodes, probably. But I was clinging on to this, and I'm like, maybe I'll see it, because I organized an outing to the arcade. That was the next time I saw them after I met them. I organized an outing to the arcade and invited the same people, and we played laser tag, and it was cool, and the girl was there. And I'm like, oh, okay, she's there. Okay, so I can kind of gauge her reaction to me being there, and then I can be like, okay, if she reacts kind of well, maybe I can ask her out again, maybe. If not, I don't know, maybe I just have to leave it. Maybe I can just get to know her better. Maybe I can just get to know her better and we can be friends and I can just see where it goes. And at the arcade, things were really, really awkward. Like, they were awkward as all fuck. And I felt dreadful coming home. Like, the outing itself was fun, because we were playing laser tag and shit, it was cool. But the look on her face when I, like, greeted her and waved, it was just the most awkward thing. And that was like a couple of months after I'd asked her out. It was baffling, but she's socially awkward and shit. Well, introverted would be a more appropriate term. I mean, she probably would describe herself as socially awkward. We're all a bit socially awkward in that group, but she's definitely introverted, and she was like, ugh. And just the look on her face, like, oh, she's being made upset by the fact that I'm here. I didn't want to make her upset. I wanted to make her happy. I even wrote this in my fucking phone the night that I met her. I wanted to make her happy, and I didn't. Just by being there. It was really upsetting. And after that, I'm like, alright, the next time that the group has a sleepover, it doesn't matter. We can just get to know her better. Because I was fucking determined to get to know her. Because I'm like, if I get to know her, this will go wherever the fuck it's supposed to go. If I get to know her and we get along really, really, really well and we're really into each other, maybe we can date. If we get along with each other pretty well, which I thought we would, and that's what I thought would happen, we can just be friends. Because I would still be up for that. I don't care if I'm friend zoned, it doesn't matter. She'd still be a cool person to get to know. She'd still be cool to be friends with. I think we'd get along. So maybe we can just be friends. Maybe if we get to know each other and we're just completely different people and we just have totally different interests and I've been totally wrong about this from the get-go, well, fair enough. We just won't be friends then, I guess. No big deal, right? But the assumption there, of course, is that she would show up to the next group thing. She didn't. She has not shown up to any, in fact, of the group things, including the one at my house. I invited her to that. She didn't even respond. And that to me is like genuinely fucking concerning. Like, originally it was concerning because I want to get to fucking know her and she's not here. But in the background, it was also concerning because I know what it's like to not want to be around people. I know what that's like. To want to, like, abscond and not be around people and shy away from social situations. I know what that's like. And I feared that she was put off by me being there. Like maybe she was so put off by me at the arcade, she's like, I really don't want to hang out with him again. Like, ever. In case he asks me out again or some stupid shit. Or that she was just uncomfortable with the group. Maybe something was going on in the background. She was depressed or was suffering from anxiety or some other social issue. I've got no clue, right? Could be any number of things. And even though I didn't know her personally, I didn't know much about her situation. Apart from that she was introverted because she said she was. It was still a sense of like, I want to like help you if at all possible. Like I probably couldn't. I don't know enough about her situation, but there was still a sense of concern about her condition. Because I didn't want her to suffer. I didn't like it when she was suffering. It wasn't good. And I know from personal experience that even when I've wanted to shy away from social situations, when I've gone into them, it's usually worked out for the better. I've usually been thankful to myself that I haven't absconded and that I have participated. And she might just be going through stuff. And even one of her friends said to me, you know, this is just how she is. And that raised more questions than it answered, unfortunately, but there's nothing I can do. There's nothing I can do to help her out if she's just gonna not show up to stuff. And if it's not like a social thing, if she's not suffering from depression or if she's not shy, then as far as I'm concerned, it's rude that she's not responding. That to me is rude. Extremely so. When I invite you to something, you fucking respond. I don't care if you respond instantly. Obviously, you got to figure out whether you can come or not. Even if you don't want to go because you don't want to fucking see me again, that's fine. Just say so. I invited her because I wanted her to fucking be there, just like I wanted everybody else to be there. It wasn't for any other fucking reason. She's not interested. She's not interested, man. End of story. And that sleepover was fucking fantastic, whether she was there or not. It was awesome. I wasn't fucking fretting about the fact that she wasn't there. It was great that they showed up. The ones who did. Didn't matter. But for a while, I was like genuinely like, oh, this is just. What's going on with you? Why are you like this? And it was upsetting. Yeah, I'd like to think I've moved on from that now. I would still like to meet her. I still think it'd be worth it. I think it'd be cool to get to know her. I'm not crushing on her anymore, though. Because I'm crushing on other people. A person, I should say. Today is a very important day concerning that. I won't go into detail because there's no point. Because what'll happen is, I'll start talking about it, and then I'll get nervous, because I was nervous before I started recording this. Because I have to confront this situation. And I was freaking, because what happens is, you know, you think about the situation, you go, alright, I'm going to do this today. And then you start thinking about all the ways it could possibly go wrong. And then you start thinking of ways to dodge the ways it could go wrong, and then you just your mind just goes into a loop, constantly trying to figure out all the possible scenarios. But it's impossible to figure out all the possible scenarios. She could say any number of things in the situation, or any conversation that you may have with the girl. She could say any number of things. You can't predict what's going to happen. You just have to roll with it. So that's what I have to do. But yeah, let's not talk about that, because I will genuinely panic, and it won't do me any good. So continuing on with just the notion of this channel in general. Another thing I've noticed is that I made a number of videos where I was like, here's what's going to happen with the future of this channel, and then I did nothing, because of course that's what happens with most of those videos that people make. Is that I'm going to do this, this, and this, and then none of it happens. Like I was talking about streaming more often, that didn't happen. Though to be fair, that's because my internet sucks and streaming was constantly an issue with disconnecting and the video quality being low, so I couldn't play certain games and still can't. The internet in my area isn't going to be upgraded for at least another year or so, I would guess. We are getting fiber optics here, like a crappy version of it, but we are getting it, so hopefully it will improve. But that won't be for a while, so don't expect anything. I can still stream, I guess, but it's just a matter of, like, are people willing to watch me stream? And how willing are you to put up with the low resolution and the dropouts? Because I mean, I can stream like sometimes I can stream for a couple of hours and everything's fine and it's generally okay. Sometimes I stream and it's like it just doesn't work for some unknown reason, and it's just annoying. So yeah, it kind of sucks. I would like to stream more often. Streaming is fun. It's cool. I'd play through entire games in streams if I could, because that'd be a way to just do casual playthroughs, or I wouldn't have to worry about the quality of it, because I'd just be streaming. The quality would come from the fact that it was live and that I was interacting with people in the chat. That would be where the entertainment came from. I wouldn't have to worry about anything else. But yeah, it's difficult given the internet. So that's an actual problem that is out of my control. I mentioned like LBP wanting to finish that chess video, and I've still got all the parts of that, like 24 hours worth of footage just sitting there. I don't know whether they edit it and shorten it down or upload it raw, because uploading it raw, it's 24 fucking hours of me going through like how, like even nerds are going, come on, you've got to fucking compress this a little bit. But I'm talking so frequently through it, it's like, what do I cut out? What do I remove without fucking up future bits? Or it's like, oh, you know that thing I was talking about earlier? That I showed you earlier? Like, it really is like a constant stream of consciousness with that. And it's been so... That actually is a thing where it's been so long since I did that I genuinely do not know how that level works anymore. I've got some documentation as to how the tags work, and if I watch the video, hypothetically, I would get some idea of what I've done, and I could maybe continue. But that's also a very time-demanding thing, and given I've got uni right now, I started that in the holidays of 2013, 2014. That is the kind of thing I need to do in the holidays. I can't do it while uni's going on. It's not an option. So that is a project that would require a lot of dedication. I would like to finish that as well, because I want to see how it turns out. But it's just such a huge project. And it's in LBP 2, that's the other thing. With LBP 2 content, particularly like level suggestions, LBP 3 is out now. It's been out for a while, and I don't have it. One, because it's very buggy, and I've heard bad things about it, and I've wanted to avoid getting it until they've patched it, and they don't seem to have patched it yet, really. I'm subscribed to the LBP subreddit. They don't seem to have said that, you know, all the issues are fixed now. It's still a bit buggy. Secondly, and more importantly, I can't afford it. I don't have the money lying around to get it. And there are other games that I want, to be honest. I want Donkey Kong's Tropical Freeze, and there are a few Steam games that I want, which, to be fair, aren't too pricey, but, you know... There are other things that I need that aren't games at all. I've had to spend a lot of money on stuff, presents for birthdays, traveling up to Sydney to do stand-up. That's another thing I've done. I've actually performed at a few open mics this year, which we're getting that rolling, which is good. But traveling up there on the train, it costs money, and it's not cheap. For someone who's unemployed, I mean. If I was employed, it wouldn't be too bad, but I don't have the... It's not the fact that it costs much, it's the fact that my income stream is like pocket money. It's just not... It's not enough to support me in getting all the things that I want, so I have to save and be very frugal at the moment. So yeah, I can't afford LBP 3. And all the new levels and all the new things that are being built are in LBP 3. So I'm not getting suggestions for it because people aren't interested in LBP 2 anymore. It's just not... What's the thing that's happening, you know? It's not perhaps. So I have to buy that game if I'm going to continue doing LBP content. Because there's not much I can do in the way of LBP 2 anymore, because just no one's submitting stuff. Even if I asked for it, I very much doubt people would submit stuff for it. And I did that video last year, that level thing I uploaded for some anime level some guy made based off some anime series, and I actually liked the way that came out. That was a really comprehensive overview of the level from a first-time player's perspective, and the guy who made the level left feedback going like, this was actually really helpful. If I could do that in LBP3, that'd be really cool. But again, I need to get my hands on the game. I don't have the cash for it. I just don't have it. Which sucks. It disappoints me, man. And there was a third thing I was going to mention. Was there a third thing? Third gaming thing? There was the LP, there was a... Oh, GTA, that's right, GTA. There hasn't been much GTA content because... First of all, GTA 5 has come out on the PS4 and the Xbox One and most recently the PC. So all the events on next-gen GTA are for either the PS4 or the PC. I don't have a PS4 and my PC is not capable of running GTA 5. Nor can I afford it, as should be obvious by now. So... And all the PS3 events were at like fucking 3 in the morning. I can't get up at 3 in the morning to do this, not while I have uni. I don't even want to get up at 3 in the morning when I don't have uni anymore. It just fucks up my sleeping pattern. I got really sick and tired of having a messed up sleeping pattern. It just makes me angry. Like in general, it upsets me and puts me in a really bad mood when I get up at like 1 PM and I'm like, I'm gonna be up until fucking 5 AM this morning. I don't want to do that. Jesus, it just pisses me off. Particularly when I miss classes because of it. And I got into the habit when uni started this year of not doing that and not sleeping in, which I'm glad that I did. But it's just not conducive. Getting up at 3 AM and 4 AM is not conducive to maintaining a good sleeping pattern. Like, I'll stay up till 2 AM tops. And then I'm going to sleep. Like, I'm just not staying up beyond that. It's just not good. And that's why not much GTA content has gone up recently. I'd like to get the PC version. I've got... Once I get employed, I want to buy a new PC and get the game. Because it's going to be the definitive version of the game. It's going to run in 60 FPS. You've got the movie editor. Going to have mods. I can't wait till they make a Riot mod for it. It's going to be so good. In the first person. Oh, it's so good. But yeah, I can't afford it, and my computer can't. My computer probably could run it at like the lower settings. You know, I don't think my computer meets the minimum requirements. Like the processor it requires is like a 2.5 gigahertz quad core, and my computer's 2.4 gigahertz. The AMD CPU model they listed is like one step above the one I have. So I probably could run it, just not very well. But of course, you know, I still have to buy it, and I don't have the money for it. That's the other thing with LBP3, by the way. LBP3 was, of course, released on the PS3 and the PS4. And if I review levels on the PS3 version, they might not run as well on the PS3 version, which may mean that I can't review them properly, or that there are issues that come up in the PS3 version that don't come up in the PS4 version. I'm just, you know, hypothesizing here, but, you know, it could be a thing. It could be a genuine, like, issue. So, yeah. I don't know. What else is there to talk about? Stand-up material, I guess. That'd be the fourth and final thing. I have been performing recently. I have been performing and I have been taping my sets. But I've decided against uploading footage and making it public for the simple reason that it's just not a good idea to have your material sitting out there when you want people to go to live shows. Obviously, I'm not a big deal. I'm not like a big-time headliner act, you know, but it's just not smart to throw all your material onto the internet where anyone can see it without having to come see you live. And if I do this on a regular basis and I go to open mics and stuff, and I develop a really good set and make a name for myself, I need incentive for the audience to come see me, and without material that people can only see live, they don't have that. So I've decided against uploading material Like, I upload stuff, but I make it unlisted, so only people I know personally can see it. People who I know won't spread it around. So, yeah, if you really, really want to see it, then I can give you a link to it, but I will insist that you don't fucking give it to other people, because I want it kept secret. That, I mean, it's not even the definitive version of the act. I mean, I'm still working on it and trying to make it better. As for what videos I'm going to continue to upload, I'm going to finish this off. I've got all the titanium bolts recorded, as you've seen, and I've got all the skill points recorded. The sewers is going to be a fucking nightmare. That's going to take hours to do. And I've also got the final boss to do. But that's it. Once I've done that, this will be over. As for what's next, I don't know. I mean, I'm leaning towards Ratchet Gladiator, but I've got reservations about that. I don't know what other game I'm going to do if I don't do Ratchet Gladiator. Like, I don't know. And if I do Ratchet Gladiator, it's not going to be like this. The LP is going to be focused on the game and the way the game works, rather than my personal life. So, we'll get back into this. I'm glad you're watching, if you are watching. I'm sorry this took a fucking year. I'm so sorry. Let me hug you.